your Mind Right Monday tip of the week. This week we are coming at you talking about the 5 rules of making tough decisions easy. Welcome back, guys. Here's another week of a Mind Right Monday tip of the week. I'm Bonnie Kelly and I'm so excited to share with you my 5 rules for making tough decisions easy. So all week long, people have been asking me, it's just been the weirdest week, about everyone saying, Bonnie, I don't know how to handle this tough decision, or how do I make this tough decision? So I thought, gosh, what a great way to bring this to a video for all of you. Because the reality is we all struggle with making tough decisions, don't we? Because they're just that, difficult, they're tough. And they can put a lot of stress or strain on ourselves to always be looking to make the right decision. And so what I want to make sure to remind you of is that tough decisions are tough for everyone. But the biggest thing to remember is that there is no right answer all the time. Is that making tough decisions, sometimes it's just always going to be difficult. There's not going to be a grand crystal ball that says, here's your right answer. It's not just going to magically appear, and you are going to have to be the one that just makes the call, and you're not sure if it's a foul or not. So that's going to bring me to my first rule of 5. Recognize you always have a choice. When we're facing tough decisions, we're constantly worried about, am I going to make the wrong one? Is this the right one for everyone else? Is this, what if I make the wrong decision? Am I going to regret this later? And it just brings on all this anxiety and all of this stress. And the reality is, you forget that you have a choice. You still have a choice. You don't have to do anything. But Bonnie, yes, I do. No, you don't. You can choose to do nothing, but maybe doing something that you don't like is easier than doing nothing. I often say that tough decisions are constantly between that rock and that hard space, right? Is that you're just like, no matter which way you turn, it feels like you're gonna fail. But what I like you to remember is that you have a choice. And even though you're choosing the lesser of 2 evils, it doesn't mean that it has to be so difficult. But realizing you have a choice, and that way you're not feeling like I have to or must, is going to get you away from feeling regret later. So that's going to lead me to my second rule, lean on what you know. So when we're faced with a tough decision, we're often just quickly going to be fired from the hip, or we're just forced to feel like we need to make this decision right now. But again, one of the best tools in personal development is actually reflection. And it's something most of us forget to do often. We go from one failure or one screw up to another without evaluating why, what went wrong, what could we have done differently. So when you're faced with a tough decision, think about a time before that maybe you've had a similar struggle in making a decision like this. And what did you do before? What didn't you do before? What can you learn from your history? So lean on your experiences. This is going to be a really easy way for you to kind of eliminate some of that unnecessary stress. All right, so you ready for my third rule? It is don't make harsh, rash, emotional decisions. That's right. When you're forced with a tough decision, a lot of times it's an emotional one. Whether it's with stress or anxiety or frustration or anger, especially if you don't feel that you have a choice in the matter, you're going to feel resentful or bitter that you're even in this situation to have to make this tough decision. It's really important for you to start making sure you are removing the emotional fog that prevents you from making a logical, rash decision. So when you're in that emotional crisis, you need to go process your emotions and then come back and look at this dilemma with eyes wide open, where you're able to use a little bit more rational decision making, kind of weighing the pros and cons of this decision, where your feelings aren't driving the decision. Because when the feelings are in the driver's seat, that's a really good indicator that regret's going to follow right behind you, because you're making decisions on the fly that might not be really in alignment with your core values. So it is really important when you're faced with a tough decision to take the emotion out. All right, so are you ready for my 4th? We're getting closer. Experience is your best ally. Use your experiences. This kind of piggybacks with rule number 2, but really cannot emphasize this enough, is that your past experiences are your allies in having a successful decision. So So you lean on those. Really look at your history and look at your resilience to be able to get out of situations like this before, or maybe your resilience to recover from these situations before. So a lot of times when we're faced with that tough decision, we're thinking like, oh my golly, I am going to be hurt in this, or I'm going to hurt other people. How am I ever going to overcome this? And if you look on your past experiences, I can almost guarantee that you've had to overcome some kind of emotional drama like this in your history before, and look at where you're at now. It's in a great, better position. So it's important to realize that you did it before, you can do it again. So use your experiences to motivate you in making easier, tough decisions. All right, we're there. The final one. Are you ready for rule number 5 of making tough decisions? And that is, do what's best for you. Yeah. Many of you are going to struggle with this one. Do what's best for you. And it kind of goes to my quote and your tweetable for today, which is, sometimes doing what's best for you isn't always going to be okay for everyone around you. And that's okay. So it's important for you to recognize that the best decisions for you aren't okay for everyone around you, and that's okay. But as long as you're doing your best, you are making the best decisions with the information available to you right here and right now. Don't put yourself out in the shoulda, coulda, wouldas and what could happen and project yourself forward. Make sure you're making the best decision logically and unemotionally with the information available. Is this the best choice for me? Yes or no? I understand I'm between a rock and a hard place, and no matter which way I turn, it's not an ideal decision. But a decision is a decision, and you can start to choose, all right, this one is the lesser of these two evils. I don't like either, but I would rather do this than the alternative, which is to do nothing. So you're gonna have to start realizing that making the best decisions is just really going off of the best information you have available. And you really wanna make sure it's in alignment with what's best for you. So hopefully that's helped you easily be able to make those tough decisions. Those are my 5 rules. I'm Bonnie Kelly. Don't forget to leave comments. We want to hear from you and tell us like what tips and tools you use to be able to overcome tough decisions yourself. And email us your questions at bonniekelly.me. Until next time, I'm Bonnie Kelly.